everybody, this is Jenny. How's it going? I have not posted on here in forever. I have taken a year hiatus from social media, and I have taken the time to grow and heal on the inside of me, do some very deeply personal self-reflections. And I've been building the fuck out of my online businesses. I figured out how to design a whole bunch of stuff and set up Etsy shops, and that is going to unlock many of my heart's desires as far as making income while I travel. Anyway, this video is not about that. I have been feeling in my heart for a while now. I've been called start making videos and content with these treasures that you've been learning at a soul level, epiphanies you've had, gifts, the spiritual gifts in me that are unfolding, and I've been like scared to be seen and like imposter syndrome and like, oh, I don't know what to say. I've tried to make videos so many times and then I stop. I'm like, oh, it sounds so not, I just haven't been, and I'm like, today I'm like, no, I'm going to start speaking. I don't have to wait until I start traveling again to be in my vibe. I've been like, well, I'm more in my vibe when I'm in Colombia, or I'm more in my vibe when I'm doing X, Y, and Z. So I'm just going to wait to, start doing what I feel led to do until X, Y, and Z. And I can't anymore. It doesn't have to be perfect. My videos don't have to be edited. I've never been great filtered anyway. So anyway, I wanted to tell you about this inspiring story that I just felt. Today I was like, woke up feeling discouraged, like, oh my God, if I wake up in this house again in Oklahoma, same room, same street, same office, blah, 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 because I am a free spirit travel girl. 6 out of the past 7 years I've spent backpacking around South America. So it's been hard. I've been in Oklahoma almost a year, focusing on being disciplined on my personal businesses and my projects and stuff. Today I was like, I woke up feeling like, oh, and I was like, yo, one thing we're learning in this time period is mastery of emotional state. And you have the power within you to cultivate any emotion that you really want to. If you were living your best life right now in Colombia, what would you desire? What would you do? And I'd be like, oh, I would just have a leisurely morning with coffee on a balcony or on wherever I'm staying, have my morning meditation, have my morning, maybe do some journaling, read some affirmations out of my affirmations book, and then I would go find a local coffee shop and I would joyfully work on continuing to build my business while I listen to things that nurture my heart and my soul. And then I would take breaks to write down creative ideas or inspiring ideas, and I was like, well, then go do that. You have a coffee shop that's less than a mile away that you can walk to. And we can sit there and watch life go by, and we can walk in our joy and our happiness today. That's your birthright now. You don't have to wait for any other conditions to happen before you walk in that. So I went to this coffee shop and I got everything set up, and the girl that helped me, her name was Danny. She was amazing. And we connected immediately. And so I worked for a little while, and then after about 3 hours, I was like, I really feel like it's a beautiful day. It's like 70 degrees, seasons are changing. Clear blue skies. It's absolutely beautiful. I'll show you. I'm at the park. Absolutely. It feels like cotton candy outside. It's absolutely stunning. Well, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do a maintenance fee and then I'm going to head back. I really felt inspired to make some videos. I was like, I'm just going to start making videos. I don't care if they're goofy or random or whatever, just to get into the flow and start using my voice to bring influence and inspiration to the world, because I do have something very unique to bring to the world, unlike anyone else. Well, I'm getting ready to walk out. I use the bathroom. I get my stuff out, and I see Danny had gotten off work, and she was sitting outside at a table eating her shift cinnamon roll or whatever, and her coffee drink, and she was just sitting there. And one of the many unique things that I saw about her spirit, I thought, that girl, there's no way she's from Oklahoma. Her spirit has foreign land all around it, and her purpose, I don't know, there's something about her light and her aura that I was like, where is this girl from? But more importantly, where is she destined to go? Wow. Well, I said, bye, Danny. I said, thank you for your light today and your kindness. I said, and she's like, oh yeah, girl, it was great to meet you. And I said, may I sit down here for a second? And she's like, well, of course. And I said, I know it's very un-American for people who want to share tables and strangers talking to strangers. I said, I've spent 6 out of the last 7 years of my life traveling rogue, nomadic lifestyle around, outside of the US. And I miss talking to new people and getting those lessons, hearing what their voice is, their purpose, their story. Everybody is a university, and everybody has something so unique to say and so unique to teach the rest of humanity. And she said, well, yeah. She said, I'm just sitting here. I'm taking some online classes, and I'm literally sitting here reading about South America. That's so strange that you mentioned traveling. And I was like, Oh, really? I said, I spent the last 6 out of the last 7 years have been spent in South America traveling. She's like, are you kidding me? She was like, man, if I could just travel full time, I would. Like, my travel spirit. And she's originally from small town Oklahoma, which has surprised me, I'm telling you. Um, and so she started talking about her classes, and she's like, man, when I finish this degree, and when I do X, and when I do Y, and I do P and Q and R, and when I am super stacked, I mean stacked, then, I'm just going to travel and never look back. But I've got to figure out all these other things first. And I'm listening to her, and I'm like, and I said, Danny, I said, this is a personal question. I know it's weird for American culture to ask questions about money, but I'm going to straight up ask. I said, are you on scholarships or loans, or does someone pay for your school ride? She's like, no. She's like, I got a full ride. She's like, I got outstanding scholarships because of where I come from, income brackets and stuff like that. I have scholarships that take 16 credit hours a semester and have plenty left over for anything that I need. Living expenses, food, whatever. I said, okay. And I said, you get that allotment once per semester. Yeah. She's studying the English language. She loves language, loves literature, she's a linguist. And my guess would be that she probably was a linguist in past lifetimes, which is why in this one, she's super passionate about anything language. And she started talking about how her mom used to speak fluent Spanish and would speak Spanish to her. And her best friend in college is from Peru, and they practice Spanish and all this stuff. And I just straight up told her, I said, Danny, I said, you don't have to wait. I said, one of the biggest things that I heard when I was on my journey, and I just showed up in Medellin on a one-way ticket in 2017 with a suitcase and $700 in my pocket. I let everything go. And I said, I had no idea how I was going to make income. I had no idea where I was going, how long I'd be there. I had no idea where I was going to stay. It was all foreign. I said, that turned into a 6-year journey. And 3 thriving businesses that came out of it because I had to figure out how to make income online. Plus a side hustle that I can teach English online if I want to. It's not my favorite thing to do, but I got the little flex in my pocket if I need it. An award-winning published book that I wrote about my story. Had I never gone on that journey, I wouldn't have had that story. And I just told her, I said, you literally could be starting a whole new life in January. I said, you can literally show up in Colombia, because she was like, oh, she's like, South America. She's like, I've always just had this draw towards Colombia. Like, I would go in a heartbeat if I could. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to call your bluff. I said, you get your next allotment for school in January. I said, sister, you could buy a one-way ticket and be in Colombia in January. And you could decide that right now and plan for it. Get your little extra hours here, be stacking it up on the side. And I said, do you have online options to do online only on your classes? She's like, oh yeah. You could take online classes. I said, you get $200 or $300 a month would be an Airbnb in Colombia, depending on where you go and what area of town, more or less. I said, you could also do volunteerships where, at workaway.info, it's $59 for a year membership. And there are people who post all over the world. There are tens of thousands of publications of people looking for solo female travelers to help out with X, Y, and Z, or come help teach English at our little college in the woods or at an official university. You have your own private room and bathroom, 3 meals a day, and it's 25 hours a week of work in exchange for these things. And it doesn't cost you to travel. I said, it doesn't have to cost you a lot of money to travel. And I said, especially if you already know you're going to have income. I said, you said you're passionate about, I said, you being a native English speaker, just because you were born in this country, gives you the biggest privilege, because everybody wants what you have. You literally can name your price and negotiate any needs that you need to be met. And I told her, I said, there were times traveling that times were really tough, and I had no clue, or the Wi-Fi was awful, and I couldn't teach to make income. And I didn't know what I was going to do, but I said, just having a language, and I said, that's what getting out of your comfort zone, that's also what that does. When you have nothing else but you, and you have to reach in. You don't have your comfort zone. You don't have your little plush matrix bullshit box around you with all this bullshit plush. What do I have that I can barter? That's not money. That's something that's just of me. A spiritual gift, a language skill, something. We all have something. Sometimes we feel so powerless that, well, I don't have money in my pocket, I can't do X, Y, and Z. No, you have all the power. You have, you can exchange what you have inside of you for what you need to have your needs met. And I told her that. There were times that I would exchange speaking English or practicing English with people's kids in exchange for fresh fruits and vegetables from their farm. So many that I couldn't even eat. I ended up giving them away, or fresh eggs and eggs from their chickens, in exchange for a place to stay, get to a local village. Oh gosh, it's a little more pricey than I thought for a monthly rate to be here. Sit down, have a coffee, say, universe, who am I supposed to stay with in this village? And I would start talking to the sweet lady who was making food or whatever, and I would say, hey, I'm looking for a place to stay for like a week or two while I'm waiting for some funds to come in, or at least enough for a bus ticket to get back out. Like, they were more than happy to receive me. And I could just literally, for speaking English. You don't have to know how to teach. You don't have to have a degree. You don't have to have, and I told her, you're passionate about editing and about writing and reading and ghostwriting and teaching. Girl, you got it all. I said, there's no limit to the side hustles you could set up online to bring in income, or teaching English online for a 10 or 15 hours a week to have that income plus your school income, have your own little nook in an Airbnb. You could do a language exchange where you learn Spanish. And I said, literally, your whole life could change. And she was just like, I could? Like, no, like, sometimes it takes someone coming across our path to say, hello, do you see what you have? I said, you literally, so don't say one day, well, if I could, well, if things were right, they could all be right if you choose to, so you either mean what you say, or I'm calling your bluff. If you're not ready to go and you're just bullshitting, it is what it is. But be honest with yourself. Don't give me that one day bullshit. One day could be in January. It could be in 4 months from now. You literally could plan on that and say, holy shit, start looking at places in Colombia. She was like, all right, what's the name of that volunteer place? I said, you literally could go buy a one-way ticket. You could spend 6 months in Colombia. What's the worst that could happen? You hate it? I said, 21 years old, buying a one-way ticket, you could still do school. Think about all the skills you would learn. Think about all the people from around the world that you would learn. 21 years old. I said, I met other 21-year-olds who were doing that. They left everything behind. And they came from a lot of family trauma. Didn't really know where else to go in the world. Didn't really fit into the Matrix crap. Was tired of the Matrix crap. And they literally packed a bag and left and showed up on a one-way ticket in Central America and worked their way down to South America. Guess what? They didn't even speak Spanish. Girl, do something. And she was like, so I don't know. It was just a message that I wanted to share with you guys, that you don't have to wait for things to be different to do something that you want to do. You can literally just decide. You can literally start with something. You can start, well, even if you're like, well, I don't have the funds to start that business. Guess what? You can't have $1 million without 1,000. You can't have $1,000 without 100. You can't have $100 without one penny. So if anything, you can go walk around a parking lot and you will find a penny, and you literally can say, this is the first penny of my $1 million or of my business venture. Today I started it. Feel the excitement of that. The most powerful tool that you have, if you have no economic resources, you think that you're powerless because maybe you don't have a degree. It's matrix programming. Don't have to have a degree unless you're a surgeon or an accountant or some shit like that. But the greatest power that we have is here. Your power to visualize. That's something that nobody can take away from you. It doesn't matter what somebody tries to enforce on you, or if they bind your arms and your legs and they steal all the money that you have. Whatever the most horrible things you can imagine. Actually, don't imagine them. The point being, power of visualization. You can visualize, and you can align those visions with a vibration of desire in your heart. And be in the desire, and be in the knowing of that. Know that it's coming into fruition. You've already launched that out there. And so anyway, I just wanted to share these things with you guys, that you literally could have an entirely different life. And I told her, you at least know you're going to have income. It's more than I had. Shit, I figured it out. But anyway, and there's just been such a wave lately of people awakening to, there's got to be something more. This societal crap isn't making sense. A very, very large wave of just people being unhappy because they're realizing they're not in alignment with their soul purpose in this matrix job they were told they had to get through matrix education, which they were told was the only way to a path of success. And there's just this big awakening going on. You literally can do everything different. You literally can let everything go, and you can show up in a different country. There's always going to be, because even this is another part of it that she was like, I don't know, man, my mom, I said, there's always going to be someone on your path that is going to project their fears on your journey. You may not want to tell her till the week before you leave. Keep your cards close to your chest. If she's going to try to keep you from leaving, There's always going to be people who say, like, but do you know what it's like down there? And they start giving this long list of things to be careful of and to watch out for and to be on guard about. These are people that have never left the effing city. They've never even been out of the state, or let alone on some touristy, all-you-can-eat exclusive vacation in Shitville, Mexico. They've never done anything. And they're telling you all the things you got to be careful of. That's why they've never done anything. So you got the paintbrush in your hand. There's something that you have been it wakes you up at night. It is stirring in your soul. Something is asking to come out of you. It's an elevation. It's a transformation. It's a transcension. It is asking. And if you are starting to feel very unhappy in like most areas of your life, and it's feeling unpleasant, it's not necessarily because you're intrinsically just a miserable, bitter, unhappy person. Maybe it's because you're outgrowing every area of your life, and the universe and the spiritual dimension is asking you to come out and asking you to expand and asking you to be open to spiritual gifts opening in you, or taking that step to launch that business, because you're going to be the happiest that you can ever imagine doing that in alignment with your purpose. So much more that I would like to say about all of this stuff. I just don't want to have a 20-minute video. So I'll be back with more. If there's anything you would like for me to speak about, I am definitely open to ideas, creative ideas, inspirational ideas. I might as well just start a new video about another mini topic. I'll be back.